Hey there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel. Today I am making a slimline box card. It's a pop-up card and I am so excited because I'm playing with one of my favorite Trinity stamp sets, and that is the Bunny Burrow set. Now here is the die set that creates this box. It's called the Slimline Series Wide Box die set. I made this card right here with this die set and the Bunny Burrow stamp set for my husband for Christmas, and I thought it would just be a really fun way to see how this die works, to see a card already made and then refer to it as I show you where each of these rectangle and square dies go to create this box. So you're going to need to die cut these rectangle pieces to be decorative elements. Of course, this is your choice, but the ones that are more square or wider, you're going to put on the outside of the box. And here's the paper. I'm going to use All Hearts paper in the light blue. And then I'm going to use the smaller or skinnier rectangles for the inside flaps. And I'm going to use the Autumn Rainbow pattern pack in this light green polka dot pattern, like that. And then when you die cut the box itself, you're going to use this die right here. Now, if you put it on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, you can fit it end to end with this die the 8.5-inch way on your card. The cut line is going to hang off both ends, so you really got to tape it down. I even have the cut line off the top. This is going to work really good. Cut 2 of those. This is the bridge piece. I'm going to cut 2 of those as well. You could cut 2, 1, 4, 3, however many you want to do. I also die cut that largest, widest rectangle for the background of my card from that same heart paper. Here's all the die cut pieces I'm going to use, and there are options to change it around. Now, when you put this box together, you actually want the flaps to be at the top. There are 2 tabs that you need to add adhesive to. So one on each of the boxes, and that's all you need to connect these 2 pieces. I'm also going to go ahead and glue down my decorative rectangles while I have everything flat. And you can see here, these wider of the rectangles go on the outside. So I'm just going to apply mine with liquid glue. It's really fun to use decorative paper or pattern paper for this on the box. It's a time saver and it's just a really good use of your paper. But you really could use elements that you stamped or backgrounds that you stamped. Now I'm flipping this over and adding the skinnier of the rectangles to the inside, or they'll be the upper flaps. So I need 1 of those long ones and 2 of the shorter ones. The other one, we will not put one of these rectangles on because that's going to become the background of our box. So really you just need these 3 pieces. And I love this polka dot paper from the Autumn Rainbow set. I use that paper all of the time. And now I'm using this largest rectangle for the background of my box, just like that. So now I'm going to fold my box on all the crease lines and make sure that those tabs are creased well so that this box can fold up and move back and forth like it's supposed to. And then I'm going to remove the adhesive off one of those flaps. I also like to add liquid glue because this is an interactive box. It's going to move around and it will hold really well. I'm going to adhere those 2 pieces together just like that. And I'm going to fold it over and press it down as well. Now I'm bringing in my 2 bridge pieces and folding those flaps or tabs back, but you can see they're long and skinny, so they're a little wobbly. So you could die cut a second piece and line this with a second piece, but it's just a strip. So I'm going to use this old-fashioned tool called scissors to stabilize these bridges. So I'll just glue that on. It doesn't have to be the perfect size. It's just nice to make it stronger, and it's not going to be seen, so it doesn't matter if it's perfect. So I'll do that to both of my bridges, and that's really going to help them hold up well. You can see I am cutting these strips off, the scraps off before the scored line. I don't need it to be stronger there. Then I'm adding my double stick tape to the end of both of those tabs, and that's where they're going to attach to my box. So I'm going to start with my first bridge. I'm also using the liquid glue on that as well, and I'm sticking it on this in-between skinny panel so that it is to the right of my background panel. I'm going to flip that over and add my second bridge. I have them pretty close to the top of the box, and that's how I like it, but you can play around with placement and how far apart you space these bridges. I took the adhesive off the other end, and I'm going to close that box over so that this second middle panel is picking up the other end of those bridges. Just like that. Last, we're going to take the adhesive off the remaining tab for the box, add some liquid glue, and just pinch those ends together to hold this box shut. And that's that. I'm going to put some clips on that and set it aside. This is the Bunny Burrow stamp set. I'll be using images from that. I'm also going to be using this Winter Burrow add-on for the tree. I love that add-on set. I use that a lot for my Christmas version. I'm using this cute mouse house set. I'm going to use some flowers and the snail from that. Also these spring sentiments. And then I will show you once this is dry how it looks before I go ahead and stamp everything out. So you can see how it folds side to side. You can see what the bridges look like there. And now we just need to add our cute stamped elements. So here's all the images I'm going to use for my card today. I'm going to stamp those out with black ink on some white cardstock that is friendly for Copic coloring. I'm going to show you a little bit of the coloring because you can see there are a lot of images. Some of them are very small and simple. For my bunny, I'm using E33 and E35. I have colored this bunny a lot because I've made a lot of cards with this, but I think this is the first tan bunny I have done, and I just thought it would be really fun to kind of soften out the bright colors of this box with some touches of brown. So that's why I chose this color. I'm adding some tonal gray for the white parts of the bunny. I picked tonal gray because I'm also using it for the rock around the door of my house. And so I wanted a gray that could work for white as well as gray there. So for my Bunny Burrow, I used my YG06 for my lightest color and G14 for my darkest, and I'll just show you that because that's the part I'm always wondering about when I'm learning how to color something, is how you color the biggest images. Little images are easy to figure out, but this is very simple Copic coloring, and a lot of the images I didn't even do ink blending, and if I did, it was just with two markers adding a dark shadow like I'm doing here around this door. I added some turquoise to match the paper that I chose for this box, touches of yellow and pink and orange for my carrot. Those are all die cut out with their coordinating dies, and then I'm going to glue down the images to the bridges and just create a 3D scene. I'm giving the bunnies some cute things to hold, like that carrot from that Springtime Sentiment stamp set and this little leaf for the other bunny, and I'm going to have them look like they're holding hands. On my winter version, my Christmas card, I had the two hedgehogs, so I thought it'd be fun to do bunnies for spring, but the hedgehogs are so adorable. I'm adding in my brown mushrooms and just gluing these right to the edge. So if you're ever gluing something down to these bridges and they feel flimsy, then it is a good idea to back them with a second die cut that doesn't have any stamping, just die cut from a white piece and back them so that the bridge is sandwiched between the two die cuts, and that will really help them be more sturdy. So you can definitely do that to increase the strength of your pieces if they are long and skinny, or you have lightweight cardstock, something like that. So I'm adding in the flowers to give this a really fun spring look. I put the snail on one of my end side flaps, and sometimes you just have to play with this and move things around. I did remove a little grassy piece and move it to a different area. I didn't like it where I had it, and so that's why I like using the liquid glue, because if there's something I don't like, I do have a little bit of time to move it around. So I added a pink flower with a little tuft of grass on the end, and I added another little piece of grass there next to my bunnies. And for this dragonfly, I'm going to put it on with a skinny strip of window sheet, acetate pick as I like to call it, and I used a glue dot and a dot of glue to attach the dragonfly to one end, and then I'll do the same thing on the other end, attaching it to the back of my Bunny Burrow for this cute little bug to fly over the house. Next, I'm stamping the sentiment that says hopping by to say hi, and I'm stamping it on a long skinny strip of white cardstock so I can suspend it or glue it between the Bunny Burrow house and the tree, just like I did on my Christmas card. So this will be up in the air, and I'm attaching it with some glue dots on either end. I'm gonna stick one end to the back of the Bunny Burrow and the other to the back of the tree, so you can see it's like a bridge between the two elements. And you just want to make sure you have it where you want it, and mostly straight before you press it into place. And there is the sentiment. So fun. I also wanted a sentiment for the front of the box. So on another strip, I'm stamping "Some Bunny Loves You." I'm going to cut that so that each end has a flag. Now to do that, I just take my scissors and snip up the middle, and then I snip from one corner to the top of the snip, and do that on both sides and repeat it on the other end as well. I had this strip of the blue heart paper left over. It got cut a little tiny bit crooked. I tried to fix it in my paper trimmer. It was left over from when I die cut the back of the background for this scene, that blue paper in the background, and the die moved just a tiny bit, and it was just such a skinny strip. I tried to fix it, but once I glued this down, I really couldn't tell that it was that crooked, and maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but the point I'm trying to get across is, don't worry about perfection. Just have fun when you're making your cards. There is a spot on the back there to write a sentiment, and I think it would be fun to write something cute under each of the flaps for this card. And then you just stand this card up, and it's so fun to look at and enjoy. And by the way, it's also super fun to make. So I hope that you have enjoyed today's card, and I will be back again next Saturday for another project with Trinity Stamps. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all again very soon. Happy stamping! Bye!